Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Amber Nestor. I am the listing agent for 425 Ash Cabin Hollow Road of Harriman, Tennessee, 37748 in beautiful Roane County. This property is situated just about a 3 or 4 minute drive from Kingston City Park on the lake and boat ramp, as well as Katy Creek Resort and Marina and boat rental. It's also about a 3-minute drive to Lowe's and many other conveniences. You can very quickly and easily access all of the major branches of waterway heading south, southeast, and south, southwest in Roane County. You can also skip on over to the east and hit Farragut and Lenoir City very quickly. This property also has over 2,000 square feet of home already there. The home was built in 1980s and has undergone many upgrades between 2022 and now with the current owners who are now selling the property. They are relocating, and so they are motivated to get this property sold. We had a huge price drop over the past 11 days of being active on the open market. We started out at 400,000 and we're already down to 305. There might be more coming in the middle of the night tonight, so you really want to act fast on this property. This video, we're going to focus on, is it possible to have 14, maybe 15 home sites achievable on this property? We're going to take a deep dive into the development potential of this uniquely placed property. Let's dive in. So we're going to start by looking at the language that was used in the communications received from the head of the zoning department with Roane County, and then we're going to look at the diagrams and the photo gallery for the property. Again, we're looking at 7.75 acres of private property with a great tree line wrapping around, amazing topography, public utilities with an additional well, and also the home that's already there as well. So you can see this is the language. It says, Amber, please see below for the responses to your questions. Please let us know if you have any further questions, and thank you. I have had wonderful experiences with the zoning department in Roane County, and really in just about every county in Tennessee I've ever researched property in. So let's look at this. Number one, I had asked, how many primary residences or single-family homes are the owners allowed to attempt? The maximum density, this is the answer, the maximum density is 2 units per acre, but we highly recommending subdividing if possible. So with 7.75 acres is what is stated in a system that references a deed record. 7.99 acres is in a system that references a county record. So in advertising, I went with the more conservative number of the 7.75. There is a historic worded survey that is very detailed in the deed of record, as well as survey work was done to verify property lines not too long ago, and there are some stakes and pins on the property, a couple of which the current owner pointed out to me while I was there. So let's say we're certain that there's at least 7.75 acres. That means at least 14 home sites could be attempted, maybe 15. I'm not really sure how that works when you have that extra acreage there, but it's shy of 1. I would imagine you could maybe try for 15 home sites in total. Again, everything is contingent upon getting permitting, how you lay things out, how you place things, how you space things, okay? Public water is there. There's also a well there. There is a septic system in place. There's lots of different kinds of septic systems. A lot of people don't know this, and oftentimes in many counties in Tennessee, when someone applies for a septic permit, they might be denied for some particular configuration, but they're not always informed that there's other configurations that are options to consider. So don't let that deter you. There's lots of creative ways to go about planning. One thing is for certain, what you are allowed to attempt here is quite a bit, and there's a lot of space and lay of land and topography, in my opinion, that is very agreeable to attempt these things. So exploring this potential is definitely very valuable and worthwhile. Number 2, are duplex type structures allowed? They said they are not. Now this shocked me honestly, because I thought I had come across some A2 property in another part of Roane County where duplex type structures were allowed. So that one might be one to push back on or double check. But worst case scenario, they're saying it's a no-go. But you're still allowed to have single family homes. So 14, 15 single family homes, or maybe some other number lower than that, that's not bad, right? Especially considering this property is just about a 4 or 5 minute drive to Kingston City Park on the lake, and a couple more minutes over to Caney Creek Marina and boat rental. So excellent location overall. Number 3, I said, are RVs allowed and to what extent? They said one RV is allowed, but it needs permitting and it cannot be rented out. And there's a new allowance on some zones in Roane County where you can actually have an RV that is lived in year round. And that's a new thing we did not have before. We used to have some property where you could stay in an RV seasonally for like a few days at a time intermittently, but it could not be used as a residence. So that has changed for some parcels. And this is one of those rare parcels. We've also historically had an RV allowance where you could live in the RV while you had a permit to build something, okay? So there was also that. But this is the highest level of RV usage for residential that exists in Roane County. It's rare and it is hard to find. Number 4, are double wides allowed and to what extent? Are double wides allowed and to what extent? He said, yes, they are allowed. I said, are single wides allowed and to what extent? He said, yes, they are allowed. Now, one thing I did not get into detail with in the way I asked my question was, does it require a permanent foundation? And how do you define a permanent foundation? Usually, a permanent foundation of some type is required. That was something that you guys are going to need to check with zoning to get full details on. Do these require permanent foundation? And if so, how do they define that, right? But it might not. Number 6, are multi-units allowed in excess of 2? So that would be like duplex, threeplex, fourplex, okay? What is the max? He said that's not going to be allowed. Number 7, I said, anything else notable that you'd like to add? He said the subject property is zoned A2, developing agriculture. So this is one of the most relaxed and freedom-filled types of land zones that you can have in Roane County. So let's take a look at the property lines and where the current home that is situated, as well as the driveway and the utilities. So on this screen, we are looking at the Zillow version of this ad, and you can see currently we are down all the way to 305. There is the full address for the property, 425 Ash Cabin Hollow Road. That's Ash with an E in Harriman, Tennessee. The original home was built in 1980, and again, the current owner acquired the property in 2022 and has done extensive upgrades since acquiring the property. It's on 7.75 acres. We're going to click through this photo gallery. We're going to look at diagrams. I'm going to talk also about upgrades. So this is a picture of the front of the house. This is a picture of the parcel diagram. There's 85 feet of frontage at the road. The gravel driveway hugs the left side of the property, and honestly, the simplest thing that I imagine when I'm out there is just continue that driveway, hugging the perimeter of the property, and then bringing it back and connecting it here. And then just building houses every so many feet all along there, opening this section up, maybe putting in a pool, some gardening, some trails, maintaining maybe some trees along the outer border. But something that you'll see in one of the bigger diagrams when we get to it later is these properties that wrap around it. They're very spaced out. They already have homes on them, and the homes are very distal. There's lots of forest encapsulating, wrapping all around this here. So it's just going to have this very well spaced kind of a situation going on. These two diagrams side by side are showing these branching waterways, okay? And this yellow pin indicates the property is just north of this key branching area here. So the pin is not on this map to the right, but because they're side to side, you can tell approximately where it would be, which is right around here. And you can see the way these roads are designed. You can go down this side, you can go down this side, this side, this side, or head this way, or this way, or head this way. North, south, east, and west at any angle, you are at the branching point for all of these major roadways. You can get to the marinas, the water access parks. You can get to major cities. You can get wherever you need to go pretty quickly. The location of the home starting point is very optimal for the enjoyment of everything the region has to offer. This is a picture of the home from a couple of different angles. I'm standing in the front yard towards the right side yard. You can see just how big the house really is. This is in the backyard after walking around this side of the house. This burn pile is going to be burned off. We're working on getting it covered right now. After we did bush hogging and mowing and trimming, this was a pile that the plan was to be burned off. And of course, it has been raining so much almost every day since. So we're going to try and get it covered, let it dry out, and get it burned off. These curtains have been removed. A lot of tidying up has happened. But this is an over 2,000 square foot home. In these images here, I said, imagine the possibilities, because this is personally what I imagine doing with the immediate backyard space, with the walkout basement, replacing that garage door with some ceiling to floor glass windows or sliding glass doors, fancying up this underneath hangout area here. There's a residential door underneath there, replacing it with a solid door. Replacing it from a solid door to a door with windows, just enhancing more natural light pouring in, and then maybe putting in a pool and some landscaping. I think that would be really beautiful. So that's what that image is about there. See if I can adjust. There we go. This is the outside of that garage door. Again, would be much prettier if it was turned into ceiling to floor glass windows or sliding glass doors. This is standing inside that basement level. It has nice high ceilings. There's already plumbing down there. This is a brand new electrical panel. There's two windows on the right, which are nice and symmetrically placed. Those are the ones you saw peeking out of the brick on the right side of the property. Every single window in this house has a view of a foresty tree line. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. This is standing with your back to the garage door with it open, looking into the basement level. It's actually very, very wide, and this image makes it look like it's more narrow, and it's not. And this it's just the difficulty of conveying things in an image. From this side view, it shows you just how wide and long the basement is, and you can see those two windows there. Again, those look out the right side of the house into the tree line. There's some shelving here that's movable, that's kind of blocking those windows a bit. This is standing on the opposite side, looking towards the other way. This is a hot tub that was left behind by the owners previous to the current owners. It's immovable. It has not been used by the current owners. You have the hot water heater here, and you also have an old well pump system remnant here. Let's see, what else can we mention about? Oh, this was all pressure washed recently, as well as the stairs. There is a washer dryer hookup stuff down in this basement level as well. What the seller told me had envisioned was removing this table and putting the washer and dryer there, but they had it just kind of sitting in the middle of the basement level for a period of time. The washer and dryer have been removed from the property. Another angle from downstairs in the walkout basement space. And again, high ceilings down there. I look at this and I just think I would put the washer and dryer, a luxury shower, a sink and a toilet all against this wall, put a door to enclose it, and then turn all this space over here into either a big master bedroom or maybe split it in half and turn it into 2 more bedrooms. This is looking at the front of the house, all new siding, all new gutters, all new windows, and all new doors. There's also a brand new HVAC system. You'll see an image later in the photo gallery that shows there's 2 HVACs side by side over here. It's kind of hard to see from this image, but I will show that to you here shortly. There's also 2 hose spigots. One is over here, another one is over here. There might be a third, but I know there's at least 2. Here's that image that I added in. There's that other hose spigot, and you can see there's 2 systems there. The HVAC system for the main level of the house has been completely redone. It goes through the attic and the vents blow air from the ceiling. So as you're walking through the house, you'll notice that there's old floor vents that have been sealed up. They're decommissioned. This is a picture that was taken by the seller some time ago, standing underneath the back deck, looking towards the end of the backyard cleared space. If you continue in the woods past this point this way or off to the right, you have a bunch more acreage there. Same spot, different season after a beautiful snow, and you can see how the topography gently rolls uphill, which is so ideal for these back and back right sections of the expanded acreage. This is standing in the driveway where the gravel drive extends past the current home site to the left of it. You can see that on the left of the driveway there's a 3-bay carport structure, and currently on the right of that structure there is an animal enclosure. This is showing from that same spot roughly during a slightly different season where you see a little bit more color starting to pop up in the trees. This is a key diagram, 85 feet of road frontage, which widens as you come back. Right here is the current home site. And the way that this image is taken by the satellites is a little misleading. The cleared space is bigger than what it appears to be here. And that's because the angle of that satellite image was captured in a little bit less than ideal way. So there's actually a little more cleared space than what it appears because you're seeing it from an angle. I'll be getting some drone footage overhead of the property in the days ahead if it's not already under contract by then, and that will give you a better overhead perspective. Oh, and again, my personal vision for what I would try to look into an attempt is just to continue to extend that gravel drive and have it follow the perimeter of the property and just put another house every few feet to the maximum ability that you're able to get the project permitted for. This is a close-up of the image that shows those branching waterways, towns, and key roads. The yellow pin is precisely on the location of the home. Very quick to countless popular marinas, water access areas, TVA land, TWRA land, parks, and so much more. Here you can see Rockwood, Harriman, Kingston, Lenoir City, Farragut, Midway. There's Uchee, Bayside, Blue Springs, Rockwood Marina is right here. Caney Creek Marina is right in here. The red pins on this diagram indicate some of the more well-known marinas. This diagram does not indicate all marinas that exist, but it indicates most of them. This diagram indicates the green line indicates the property line. The dashed yellow lines should be a historic record where someone had previously proposed a plan but then abandoned it. I can get confirmation from the appropriate county records departments for that for you to ease your mind before you close. You can see here where it notates 7.75 acres, deed 7.99 acres, county. So there might be a little bit more land there than the 7.75. I'm not 100% sure. You'd have to consult with a professional surveyor. I believe the current seller did consult with a professional surveyor when verifying and marking some of the property lines. So they could probably let you talk with them and elaborate on that with you a bit. There is a worded historic survey within the deed, the warranty deed that exists currently. Again, there's the footprint for the current home, and then this kind of looks like it's another home, but it's not. All the measurements have kind of a gray square around them. So you can see that there's this hill here, and you can see that this is gently rolling, gently rolling, gently rolling, and you have this little hill. The seller says he's hiked up to this hill several times. It's very beautiful up there. So if you just took that road, wrapped it around the perimeter, just a house every few feet. I mean, that's what I would envision an attempt for. Again, as always, everything's contingent upon permitting processes and engineering, planning, and development approval. This shows a creek line that follows the road. There is a culvert that goes under the driveway here to accommodate that flow. This verifies the internet speeds. Notable is Starlink and T-Mobile with download speeds ranging from 280 and 100 or more for download Mbps, and upload spectacularly high ranging from 20 to 30. This is a view looking at the paved road frontage of the public road, and right here is the driveway that branches off. Look how nice and flat that is. Honestly, someone could probably attempt to put a home just 30 feet set back from this road for one of their first added homes to the property. This is looking up that driveway towards the current home site, which is back in here. This lets you see just how much privacy the current home site and any home sites built behind it can truly have from the road frontage, which is a really nice feature. This diagram helps you see the pin, the red pin where the property is located, the subject property 425 Ash Cabin, in relation to Roane County Park on the Lake and some other important sites. This diagram shows the property's location with this pin over here, another red pin, very close and proximal to Roane County Hospital, Covenant Health, Kroger, Lowe's, and much, much more. This is a diagram of Kingston City Park on the Lake. Oh, can I talk today? It connects to the Betty Brown Memorial Walking Trail, which is many miles long, and that connects to Gravel Pit Park and 58 Landing and a historic site with Civil War grounds, as well as some Indian burial grounds, multiple bathroom facilities, tennis courts, playground areas, picnic areas. The whole hiking trail borders the waterway. There's one section where there's a wooden bridge and there's probably 100 turtles just hanging out back there. There's just so much beauty and wildlife. You'll see lots of osprey nesting, eagles, red-shouldered hawks, blue herons, all kinds of just gorgeous wildlife. You can catch monster blue catfish if you go night fishing, especially if you go back on the pier that is behind the farmers market and the two churches side by side. Just so much, and this is just about 5 minutes away. This giant section of land here is Roane County Park on the Lake. It has extensive hiking trails, multiple playgrounds, a beach area, a special garden that you can walk through that's handled by the Master Gardener Society of Roane County. There's, I think, some tennis courts near the entrance, and just all kinds of things. Over here we have the Caney Creek RV Resort that has a pool and all kinds of other amenities. There's also another boat access area real close to this spot over here. Just so much beauty. Roane County, I feel like, is a hidden diamond in East Tennessee that a lot of people don't realize is here. This is Caney Creek Marina. It's just about 5 or 6 minutes away from the home site as well. You can rent a boat here. You can visit them on Facebook. They also have their own website. You can locate that through the Google business search system. They have a great diagram of their prices for their boat rentals. This diagram has the property, the subject property location, encapsulated in this yellow border here. Hopefully the screen capture software is showing you my mouse so that's pointing to things and making sense. But this shows you how close it is to several other places. So here's Lowe's over here, and then we have a brand new large workout anytime facility. It's 24-hour access. They have massage chairs, they have red light therapy, they have saunas, they have tanning beds, they have a yoga room, they have almost every piece of equipment and free weight you can imagine. They have like the DEXA type scans, the body composition scans. They have personal trainers if you're seeking one. The staff that's running this place, top tier individuals. They are the nicest people. I absolutely love them. It's a great facility. It's right next to the VA. It's right next to Harbor Freight. So, you know, it's on the way to Walmart. You just go a little bit farther and you get to Walmart. So, super cool to have that close by. Also close by is Roane State Community College, and a lot of people don't know this, but just north of the Roane State Community College campus and library and event centers, we have a brand new TCAT higher education facility opening August of this year, 2026. So there's just so much growth and beautification that's happening in Roane County over the past few years. I have been so impressed. It just seems like everywhere I turn, something new and beautiful is popping up out here. This is a diagram of the new Rockwood Marina. They just finished this project about a year or two ago. This is the Rockwood Marina grounds. It's massive. They have a pool, they have a gift shop, they have a snack shop. Really, really beautiful. Right next door is Tom Fuller Memorial Park. It's been around for a really long time. Massive park, nice bathroom facilities, nice picnicking areas, boat ramps, docks, piers, walking, walking, hiking, just absolute beauty. This is also very close by as well. This diagram, all of the land that is color-coded orange is part of wildlife management areas that are managed by TWRA. If you want to learn more about these, there's a lot more. This is just focusing in on some that are the quickest drive. This one down here is called McLaughlin-Largan. It's 100 acres right on the water. These two sections are part of the Watts Bar WMA. Down here we have a big network of waterfront sections called Paint Rock WMA. This big network over here is part of the Mount Roosevelt WMA, but we also have massive Catoosa just north of here and much, much more. Learning about the regulations, what you can do on these public lands, go to eregulations.com. That's eregulations.com. Select the state of Tennessee. It will pull up the full PDF file. You can open it in your browser or you can save it and download it as a reference. You can also find hard copies of that document, that magazine style document, at your local gun shop or at the Walmart sporting goods department. This diagram indicates these darkened areas along the waterway, which are TVA lands. And TVA has lots of public lands that are for the enjoyment of the public. Going to the TVA website, you can learn about the ways in which you're allowed to use these different sections of land. Some have camping opportunities, some have hunting opportunities, some have fishing opportunities, some have, you can bring your dog, all kinds of stuff. So it's definitely worth looking into. It's a very underutilized thing. Some of these public lands are accessible only by boat. Some of these public lands are accessible by parking and hiking in. Some of these are accessible by car. It just depends. But it's a great asset to the enjoyment of the beautiful, beautiful nature we have here in East Tennessee. This is looking out of the living room window on the front porch deck, looking towards the main road. You can kind of see a glimmer of the private gravel driveway here. There's a row of bushes. That's my car off in the distance. You can barely see it, but this just helps you see how incredibly private your front yard really is. You see this little kind of sliver of a green hill across the street. So lots of privacy here. This is looking out the window that's above the kitchen sink. This house has an open living room kitchen floor plan, and that was opened up thanks to the current owner. After he and his wife and family acquired this property, they wanted to modify it to have a more open floor plan, and so they did. If you're at the sink, you are looking out the window, you're seeing what's on the back deck, and you're seeing what's in the backyard. It's excellent. You can keep an eye on things. It's just perfect placement there. This is the downstairs door in the basement. Not very pretty picture, but it is a residential door and it is nice and it seals well and it works well and it's functional. But this is one that I would say replace it with a glass window door, with a single pane glass window door, or maybe one that's two-piece where you have a window that slides up and down so you can open it with a screen at the top and just let some fresh air in when you feel like it. Let all that natural light pour in. There's the steps that we had pressure washed leading up from the basement to the main level. Again, a close-up of the hot water heater and part of the well system that was, the house was on a well previously, but everything is running on public water currently. But if you wanted to have a well professional come out and look at the well system and maybe refurbish it or get it back in working order, you might use it to supply water for your garden or to supply water for a pool or who knows what else. All of the windows have been replaced on the main level of the home with Energy Star windows. This is a hot tub that was left behind by the owners previous to the current owners. It can be moved around. The current owners report they have not used it. This is the top of the well, and it's usually covered by this block here to help protect it. And you can see mechanisms are still remnant here from when it was hooked up to some type of pumping system, I believe. I tried to look up the Tennessee well code register number for this well. I was not able to find it in their system. So I would highly recommend that whoever acquires this property get a well inspector out there and get it properly registered with the state. That just kind of, in my opinion, adds value to your property when that's able to be looked up. When they analyze the well, they'll tell you things like what kind of casing does it have, how deep was it drilled, how many gallons per minute does it produce, and lots of other data. Keeping those records and having them part of the public system, I think, is beneficial. It also helps from one well tech to the next well tech to the next well tech. It keeps records of what the well tech's ID numbers were that went out there and serviced your well, and it just helps keep good records for your own current records, and then if you go to sell in the future, those records have all been maintained in a permanent kind of a way. If you want to locate the wellhead, when you drive up the gravel drive on the left side of the property, that drive is going to pass the house, it's going to pass the 3-bay carport on the left, then right after that you're going to see these blocks and you're going to see this old swing set post. This is standing in the living room with your back to the kitchen sink, looking across to the living room window with the new door in place for the front door, all new lighting in the ceiling, all new ventilation in the ceiling, all new HVAC. The covers for the vents are all there. There's lots of extra insulation and sheetrock that conveys with the property that is also stored in the house, and some other building materials as well. And you can see how this was opened up to make it a combined open floor plan space. So really this property needs you to slap down some floors and to slap in some paint and potentially customize your bathroom fixtures and your kitchen fixtures, and you're good to go. This is that living room kitchen open space from a different angle. You can see that there's double doors here opening out onto the back deck overlooking the beautiful backyard. Personally, I would replace these with a sliding glass door that's ceiling to floor window style with no grid lines, or something to the similar effect. From another angle, the same space, closer up on those current doors, looking out onto the back deck and to the yard, the new front door, the new thermostat for the new HVAC system, the new electrical panel, new exterior lighting and new exterior siding. Also, side note, there is a metal roof on top of a shingle roof. This is a picture taken standing in the backyard. I walked about halfway, maybe a little further, from the back of the house towards the back of the cleared space in the yard. Stopped and took a picture. You can see how flat this is, how beautiful this is. This is looking at the steps on the back porch. When you go for a showing, this back door has two different kinds of locking mechanisms. One is the primary and one is a backup in case there's a failure. So you're going to have access to the property no matter what when you go up there for a showing. We've thought of everything. These are two propane tanks that convey with the property sale. All of the doors on the main level of the home are solid wood doors. They are not hollow interior doors. They're solid wood doors. And if you don't like the placement of them, if you want them to be attached to the other side of the doorway, or if you want them to swing in the other direction, all of that is adjustable and customizable, no big deal. But those are all in place on the main level, all new. This is the mid-bay and the 3-bay carport area. Off to the right, you can kind of see that there's an animal closure in a fourth kind of a bay sort of section. There is power run to this structure here. This is a picture from Kingston City Park a few days ago around dusk. And it just gives you an idea of how beautiful it really is. The primary playground area for Kingston City Park is right around here. The trail, again, multiple miles of trail wrap around the edge of the waterway. It's so beautiful. This is a pier that I guarantee you, if you go night fishing and you're very patient and you use the live worms from the Shell gas station that's walking distance, you will catch monster blue cat catfish the size of your leg and have an absolutely wonderful time. This is a picture of the crawl space, which the access to is just to the right of the residential style door at the back of the home for the walkout basement. As you can see, it has been professionally lined and cleaned, and it has lighting. So just to recap here, zoning has confirmed in writing there is the possibility to explore up to 2 homes per acre for a total of 14 homes, but maybe 15 because there's 7.75 acres. So if you're going to say 2 homes per acre, does that mean 1 home per acre? And if you've got 7.75, well, no, you wouldn't be able to put another one there, but 14 to attempt and explore. And again, I would say that the biggest obstacle there is going to be getting your septic permits. But if you space them out in the design that I proposed, I mean, that's a very well spaced out plan. It seems to me that, that should be achievable. But again, I am not the septic permitting official for Roane County. And I am not a soil scientist, but I have studied septic permitting processes and soil scientist results and consulted with, I can't even count how many soil scientists throughout my life in different counties all over the state of Tennessee and some abroad. There's lots of different kinds of septic systems, specialty systems, multi-chamber systems, ways that you can modify the land to accommodate different things. So where there's a will, there's a way. I think the most important thing to think about is if the plan that you have is practical and beautiful, and it adds beauty and value and peace to the community, then your plan is an asset to the community as a whole. And I would think that that's going to be greeted with lots of support and encouragement and solution creating there. So let's see. We're going to go back to the listing. I'm so obsessed with these windows. And personally, again, I would remove those grid lines, just ceiling to floor windows. Just solid. Just keeping it solid. And that, can we get it to zoom in on that? It's not going to let me zoom in on that. But this pool with the waterfall and the lights and the landscaping, little touches like that just make such a big, beautiful difference. So pretty. There's room in the core of this property for parking, for special events, for a wedding venue garden, for, what else? Just whatever your imagination can bring up, really. If you scroll down on this listing and you click show more here, there's lots of details. I tried to put each section of detail in caps. So there's improvements, there's conversion potential, there's development potential, there's inspections, deeds, and survey documents discussed. There's solid, just on and on and on, right? It's only been on the market for 11 days. We have aggressively dropped price. Right now it's showing 66 people have saved it, over 1,308 views. That's where people have clicked all the way through. On this particular site alone, you have to keep in mind there's people on hundreds of sites browsing property. It says this is likely to sell faster than 91% of other properties nearby. So get it under contract while you still can. If you'd like to schedule a showing, you can hit me up at 865-617-4783. Again, that's 865-617-4783. Is this going to show us our price change history? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, shoot me a text, ask any questions that you have about the property. If you need research or verifications, I'm here to help. If you need a showing, we are having a deep cleaning process for the property that's ongoing. It's supposed to be done, and Thursday morning is when we will begin scheduling interior showings again. In the meantime, there might be the potential for you to walk the property lines, but you would still need to schedule that with me and let me know when you're going to be out there. I want to give a heads up to the property owner and the cleaning crew. That way they know who to expect and when. That way no one blocks anyone else's vehicles in. That way people know where they can park and things of that nature. But I guess that's everything for now. I hope to hear from you. This is a super cool property. I really wish I was in a position to purchase it and develop it myself. It would be awesome. So have a great day. Check back to see what's new. I'm here for all of your buying, selling, and investing real estate needs throughout the state of Tennessee. Again, my name is Amber Nestor, and you can check out my website at TennesseeLandAndHomestore.com. Thanks again.